It was PLO rocket attacks like this one on the northern Israeli town of Kryat Shmona that steadily pushed the government of Menachem Begin to make a decision on military action against the guerrillas. But it was not until gunmen attempted to kill Israel's ambassador in London that the die was cast and the country's northern border gates were thrown open to the might of Israel's army. Codenamed Operation Peace for Galilee, the action was originally supposed to last for only 2 days, the Israelis seeking to destroy or drive out PLO forces from southern Lebanon. For many years, the PLO had established an elaborate military infrastructure in the area, from which to mount overt and covert operations across the border into Israel. The Israeli fight for these positions was a hard one, but one that had been well planned by Israel's military command. As PLO forces fled further north or eastwards into Syrian-held territory, fast-moving Israeli columns pursued them, often going around entrenched PLO positions. They could wait till later. Almost inevitably, the Israelis came up against Syrian forces as well. Here, Israeli air power reigned supreme, and Syrian aircraft and missile batteries suffered swift and crushing defeat. As Israeli mobile forces and heavy artillery ringed the Lebanese capital, it became clear that Israel's intention was to get rid of the PLO in the country once and for all. The original intention of gaining only a 45-kilometer security line, now only a memory. Day and night, heavy guns pounded traditional PLO positions in West Beirut, their fire lifting only to allow Air Force bombers to take up the bombardment. Beirut residents ran terrified through the city's streets as the Israelis tightened their grip. PLO units operating now in isolated groups and with little effect against the Israeli armor. International pressure now took a hand, and a multinational force quickly moved in to consolidate a ceasefire, and soon after, to oversee the emotional evacuation of Palestinian forces. For those who stayed behind, even worse was to come, and it soon backlashed on the Israeli government. The massacres at the Sabra and Shatila refugee camps by Phalangist forces shocked many Israelis into asking the question, did Begin and his government have any part in the killings? The Special Commission of Inquiry spared no one in its quest for the truth. Defense Minister at the time, Ariel Sharon, was to lose his position as a result of the findings. It was he that had masterminded Operation Peace for Galilee. In an unprecedented show of public protest, Israelis at home voiced their demands for an end to the war and the pullback of fathers, sons and brothers. Usually unified at times of war, the nation split into bitterly opposing camps, with tragic results. Public and political feeling on both sides of the border eventually prevailed, with Israel and Lebanon, under the auspices of the United States, signing an agreement that would result in a degree of normalization and paving the way for an Israeli pullout. But it hinged on a simultaneous withdrawal of other foreign forces, not least of all the Syrians. And the Syrians' recent exercises in the Bekaa Valley and along the Golan Heights, provocative to say the least, are seen by most senior Israeli officials to indicate a flat refusal to go. So Israeli forces are still in Lebanon, 12 months after the start of their planned 48-hour clear-out operation. Faced each day with an escalating war of attrition which, with somber regularity, brings further attacks on Israeli soldiers, and seemingly endless misery for the people of Israel. Mike Shegog, UPATN, Israel.